Now, a Chinese commercial rocket company has successfully launched and has safely landed a test rocket. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, so SpaceX has been famous for launching rockets. Their boosters come back down and land and can be reused. This has made them very economically and very efficient, and has brought the cost down. Well, this Chinese company, as you're seeing here, has tested its first design of doing this. As you see, the rocket goes up, and then a short time later, it uses thrusters to steer itself down. Now, it didn't go all the way into space, but it was that very first step of showing they're getting the technology to go up and down in a controlled way. By doing so, that means the rocket is reusable. It'll bring those costs and launch costs down, and then could be more regular, again, as we've seen with SpaceX and other companies like Blue Origin and other competitors. So this is a big step forward for the private Chinese space industry, so to speak, and can revolutionize their access into space, both people and satellites, just as we've seen SpaceX and others do in the US and across the world.
So has China modelled its rocket on SpaceX, or is this idea of it being reusable it's just the way it is now?
Look, I think it's a bit of both. They've clearly looked at some of the lessons and designs from SpaceX, but this has to be the way going forward. In order to stay competitive, you need to make it cheap, you need to make it reusable, and need to make it reliable. Otherwise, you'll just go to another company that can do that for you and bring those costs down. So if China wants to launch at the rate that we are seeing in the US and other places, and at the cost and reliability, that's kind of the way forward. And so it's a great thing for all of space community, but really just showing how the space sector is rapidly evolving across the world.
Yeah, fascinating. Absolutely. Just finally, Brad, Frank Borman, the Apollo 8 astronaut who led the first flight to the moon, has died at the age of 95. What an amazing legacy he leaves behind.
He was. And look, and Apollo 8 was, in some cases, the riskiest mission of the Apollo era. So he said it was the first to go around the far side of the moon. In doing so, they lose contact with Earth. When you go around that side, you can't contact Earth. They had to make sure that the orbits and angles and speeds were all perfect, else the craft would have sailed off into space. In a lot of ways, it was the first time that showed this is really an audacious venture, and he was the commander of it, and one Australia was drastically involved with. Honeysuckle Creek was responsible, the station outside Canberra, for tracking and communicating and helping that mission. So a pioneer in space, and obviously he'll be sorely missed.
He certainly will. In 95, what a fantastic innings at that.
That's right.
Brad Tucker, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks.